Good afternoon. It's Friday. Happy Friday, everyone. Today is March 6, 2026. Welcome to Judiciary Vote Session. Our first bill is House Bill 875, Delegate Simmons. Is there a motion?
Move favorable.
Is there a second?
Second.
I'm looking at you, Delegate Simmons. I'm like, why aren't you? Okay. Because I'm thinking one must always advocate, even all the way down to the bitter end of the vote session. Okay, so we have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? All right. Okay, Delegate Valentine has a question.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I did have one question with regards to the literature itself. I thought we had in discussions at some point mentioned a QR code. Is that in lieu of the literature itself?
What we did, I'm sorry. You wanted to answer that? They could do either one. They can do whatever they want to do, as long as it gets to the consumer.
Okay.
So there's nothing that says it has to be printed in the bill. And if anybody can confirm that for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. All right, that's what I thought, but I just wanted to make sure, because I didn't have it up yet.
Like recommendation of that.
Make sure it's visible and available.
Delegate Congola?
Was there any, thank you, Madam Chair, was there any concern or opposition from any gun groups?
To the, there was some concern in reference to this being constitutionally challenged, and it was challenged, but the courts took no position and returned back to Anne Arundel County. So at the time, we moved the bill forward.
Okay, all right, thank you.
It went up to the U.S. Supreme Court. Okay, any other questions or discussion? Seeing none, please call the roll.
House Bill 875, Delegate Simmons, Public Safety, Distribution of Literature to Purchasers of Firearms and Ammunition. The Vice Chair is excused. Delegate Valentine. No. Delegate Valentine votes no. Delegate Embry. Yes. Delegate Embry votes yes. Delegate Cardin. Yes. Delegate Cardin votes yes. Delegate Phillips. Yes. Delegate Phillips votes yes. Delegate Congolo. Yes. Delegate Congolo votes no. Delegate Stinnett. Yes. Delegate Stinnett votes yes. Delegate Simmons. Yes. Delegate Simmons votes yes. Delegate Boucher is excused. Delegate McComas. Delegate McComas votes no. Delegate Moreno. Yes. Delegate Moreno votes yes. Delegate Archon. Yes. Delegate Archon votes no. Delegate Taylor. Yes. Delegate Taylor votes yes. Delegate Simpson. Yes. Delegate Simpson votes yes. Delegate Mangione. Yes. Delegate Mangione votes no. Delegate Moon. Yes. Delegate Moon votes yes. Delegate Conway. Yes. Delegate Conway votes yes. Delegate Woods is excused. Delegate Williams. Yes. Delegate Williams votes yes. Tally is 11-5 to 0-3. The motion carries.
Thank you. Our next bill is House Bill 822. This is my bill, but it's actually on behalf of the clerks and registers. I heard a favorable, did I hear a second? Okay, second. Are there any questions that I probably can't answer? I will let you know that this is, if anyone is concerned about the fiscal note, this actually gets enveloped in their budget, in the clerks and Register of Wills budget. Okay, seeing no questions, please take the roll.
House Bill 822, Delegate Bartlett, Circuit Court Clerks and Registers of Wills, maximum salary. The Vice Chair is excused. Delegate Valentine. Yes. Delegate Valentine votes yes. Delegate Embry. Delegate Embry votes aye. Delegate Cardin. Yes. Delegate Cardin votes aye. Delegate Phillips. Yes. Delegate Phillips votes aye. Delegate Congolo. Yes. Delegate Congolo votes aye. Delegate Stinnett. Yes. Delegate Stinnett votes yes. Delegate Simmons. Yes. Delegate Simmons votes yes. Delegate Boucher is excused. Delegate McComas. Yes. Delegate McComas votes yes. Delegate Moreno. Aye. Delegate Moreno votes aye. Delegate Archon. Yes. Delegate Archon votes aye. Delegate Taylor. Delegate Taylor votes aye. Delegate Simpson. Favorable. Delegate Simpson votes favorable. Delegate Mangione. Yes. Delegate Mangione votes yes. Delegate Moon. Delegate Moon votes yes. Delegate Conway. Yes. Delegate Conway votes yes. Delegate Woods is excused. Delegate Williams. Yes. Delegate Williams votes yes. The tally is 16-003. The motion carries.
Thank you very much. We're going to move now to House Bill 426. Delegate Jeff Long, petition. Is there a second?
We have amendments.
Thank you.
Move the amendments.
thank you. So we have amendments, and Holly, if you'd like to go over the amendments, please. Thank you.
Okay. Amendment number 1 is just technical, altering the purpose paragraph. Amendment number 2 is clarifying, and it requires, sorry, let me bring up my 26. It's clarifying, and it alters a provision to require the stay to be automatically lifted if there is an appointment of a temporary or permanent guardian of the property of the disabled person or the petition is denied. And these were amendments proposed by MSBA.
Are there any questions, concerns, criticisms? No criticism. Okay. All right. Please call the roll.
House Bill 426, Delegate.
All right, this is on the amendment. May I just have a show of hands? If you're, this is moving the amendment. This is moving the amendment. Okay, thank you. All right, great, that's unanimous. Now, may I have a motion on the bill as amended?
So moved. Second.
Thank you. Are there any questions? Seeing none, please call the roll.
House Bill 426, Delegate Long, petition for guardianship of the property of alleged disabled person, stay of civil actions and proceedings. The Vice Chair is excused. Delegate Valentine. Delegate Valentine votes aye. Delegate Embry. Delegate Embry votes aye. Delegate Cardin. Delegate Cardin votes aye. Delegate Phillips. Delegate Phillips votes aye. Delegate Gangolo. Delegate Gangolo votes aye. Delegate Stinnett. Delegate Stinnett votes aye. Delegate Simmons. Delegate Simmons votes aye. Delegate Boucher is excused. Delegate McComas. Delegate McComas votes yes. Delegate Moreno. Delegate Moreno votes yes. Delegate Archon. Delegate Archon votes yes. Delegate Taylor. Delegate Taylor votes yes. Delegate Simpson. Delegate Simpson votes favorable. Delegate Mangione. Delegate Mangione votes yes. Delegate Moon. Delegate Moon votes yes. Delegate Conway. Delegate Conway votes yes. Delegate Woods is excused. Delegate Williams. Delegate Williams votes yes. Tally 16-003. The motion carries.
Thank you very much. All right, you all know this is Hunter's audition for Rhodes, for reading clerk. Or Jeopardy. Okay, we're going to have a lovely time. We'll move on to House Bill 428. Is there a motion? Thank you. So House Bill 428 has been moved and second. Are there any questions, concerns, or otherwise discussion on the bill? Seeing none, please call the roll. That's okay. Yes, it is. This happens to roads sometimes too. Oh, yeah. All righty, please take the roll.
House Bill 428, Chair, Judiciary, Maryland Judicial Conference, Courts, former judge, temporary assignment. The Vice Chair is excused. Delegate Valentine. Yes. Delegate Valentine votes yes. Delegate Embry. Delegate Embry votes aye. Delegate Cardin. Yes. Delegate Cardin votes aye. Delegate Phillips. Yes. Delegate Phillips votes aye. Delegate Gangolo. Yes. Delegate Gangolo votes yes. Delegate Stinnett. Yes. Delegate Stinnett votes yes. Delegate Simmons. Yes. Delegate Simmons votes yes. Delegate Boucher is excused. Delegate McComas. Delegate McComas votes yes. Delegate Moreno. Yes. Delegate Moreno votes yes. Delegate Archon. Yes. Delegate Archon votes yes. Delegate Taylor. Yes. Delegate Taylor votes yes. Delegate Simpson. Delegate Simpson votes favorable. Delegate Mangione. Mangione votes yes. Delegate Moon. Delegate Moon votes yes. Delegate Conway. Delegate Conway votes yes. Delegate Woods is excused. Delegate Williams. Yes. Delegate Williams votes yes. The tally is 16-003. The motion carries.
Thank you very much. Now we're going to have our last bill for our vote session, House Bill 10. Delegate Foley. You know, there is an amendment. My apologies.
Second.
Okay, on the amendment, there has been a motion on the amendment. Are there any questions? And before that, we'll also explain the amendment. Delegate Archon?
Oh, you explain the amendment first. Yeah.
This bill, House Bill 10, went through the Civil Subcommittee, and the amendment alters an or to an and then this is on page 1 of the bill, and you'll see it in line 20. So newspaper and general circulation being a print and digital publication, and then the second part of the amendment clarifies or digital-only publication that covers local news or information in more than 3 counties in the state. And that's the amendment.
I'm going to go to Delegate Ericon and then Delegate Conaway. Can you hold it? Or does it go to something she just said? Okay, do you mind? Okay, Delegate Conaway.
Just said or.
Yep, it switches, so to an and.
It's
Print and digital publication, and then it clarifies digital publication or print and digital publication or digital-only publication that covers local news or information in more than 3 counties.
Okay, thank you.
Delegate Ericon.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just want to, just for the record, say that I have previously supported policies moving this direction, but over the interim and since this bill's come back up, I really feel like my worry is that what we're going to do is we're going to end up with folks only using one or maybe a few online-only publications, and that some of our older folks who are very used to getting their information in print aren't going to realize, and I've got somebody cheering from the other side, we'll potentially lose access to information that they actually really care about, something that they actually typically do look at. And so I, of all people, love to cut costs. I think it's a great idea broadly. I love to make things cheaper for people, but not at the expense of what I think is really good policy. And I don't want to see our older population who's not as savvy online losing access to information that they actually need and want. So I'll be red.
Thank you. Delegate McComas.
Madam Chair, have the two sides, have the two chair, or the print and the digital, have they kind of come to an agreement? Or they don't, there is no agreement?
The Subcommittee Chair, Cardin.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you for the question. So the answer is no, but somewhat. So there were some agreements. There looked like they were going to move together, but in the end, the Print Association, the Association of Print, which Ms. Snyder represents, did not, just to be perfectly frank, did not agree with the final output of the bill. Changing it from or to and went a long way. That did a lot, but it didn't go all the way she needed to go. So just to be clear, what this does is this basically says that in order for you to be an online-only option, you have to be in at least 3 counties, and you have to have at least one person working in the area in which you represent, you do. So there's very few, in fact, there's really, at this point, there's only one entity that meets that qualification right now, but there could be others as online publications continue to grow. Does that make sense?
Is there a cross-file in the Senate?
I don't know. Oh, yep, there is. SB 64.
And has it been heard yet?
Yes.
They have been hearing. Okay, but it hasn't been voted on yet?
Not that I'm aware.
Okay, thank you all.
Yep.
Delegate Mangione, do you still have a question? No. Delegate Valentine.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And I believe the good delegate answered my question, but I just want to be clear. Because of the ands and the ors, I kind of got confused. So because of the framework for the digital only, which you laid the framework for what they have to be, there will be entities, government entities, that now can use a digital only option, correct?
There will be. So yes. I mean, this is legal notices, so it's not just government entities.
But I mean,
yes.
there are some that this will be applicable to, where it's only digital only.
If they are only required to have it published in one in one, journal or whatever, yes, it's possible.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair.
I was still looking over there.
Well, my younger colleague, let him go first.
No, he had a question earlier, and I'm sorry, Delegate McComas.
Okay. Question, Delegate Cardin. The question is are there a significant number of government entities that can just post in a single digital format?
I think that depends on what's required. I think that, and we can ask the Estates and Trust person, but I mean, if you're publishing for interested parties, I think you have to be in multiple, or do you only have to be in one?
Most is one.
So most is one. So that's an example of if you're required to post for interested parties to an estate, then that one could be satisfied by an online only.
Okay.
Okay? But there are others, I think that there are others that are required to post in multiple periodicals or whatever. I can find that out for you, but.
Well, I guess my question to
That's
Delegate
really not part of this bill.
Ampry would be, okay, let's say you've got 5 heirs and they're in different jurisdictions. You would send them a certified letter that they have an interest in the decedent's estate, correct?
So if we're talking about probate, the requirement, there's many things that have to happen. Exactly. They notify directly those that are known. They also have to put out publication to one publication. And I just want to say, as the bill is amended, you can use a digital publication, but they have to be published. I mean, they have to be serving that county. So it's not that you can just use a publication that doesn't have anything to do with your county. It has to be the county in which they're active.
Yeah, I did fail to say that.
Sorry, I just wanted to note
So
that.
basically the county where the decedent resided, not necessarily all the people that might be.
The county where the legal notice is required to be published.
Right.
The entity has to be there. So you can't use Huffington Post for Dorchester County.
Okay, okay, all right, but there may be some people that you are not going to know just because they're in Timbuktu or something.
Okay, but if, for example.
And you don't know where they are in Timbuktu.
I'll only say this only because, this is part of the debate that we had, but if you publish in the Capital Gazette and the person lives in Hartford County, they're not going to see it either. So
Right,
but
no,
they
I
would
understand that.
but the Hartford County person might have a better shot at seeing it in the banner online than they would in the Capital Gazette, on print.
Well, yeah.
Again, we understand, and I will tell you, this is part of the debate we understand that these entities, it's important that we like media. And as a partisan, I think that mainstream print media is important, and I would like to have it survive. The fact is that we're here to represent our constituents. We need to make sure we make it affordable for them to follow the law, and this is kind of where we're going with it. So.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Any more discussion? Delegate Moreno.
I don't know if any of the other attorneys here have dealt with this, but the idea of publicizing, whether it's physical or digital, it's the act itself that you've published it, and courts are satisfied, or any other tribunal is satisfied with the act of publishing it. You never have to actually prove that somebody has read it. So, whether it's print or digital, because a lot of the things that we're talking about is like, well, what if people don't see it? It's the act of just publishing it is sufficient for the courts. So whether it's digital or physical, for me, it doesn't make a difference. So I'm going to vote yes on this, just heads up.
Now you are, thank God.
Right. And that, and I mean, that's a fair point. It is true. You don't. You don't have to prove actual notice. Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree. And I can also appreciate the argument that, you know, some folks might not see it and who are used to print and all of that. So, I mean, it's just a matter of trying to get the best of, that we can get and going forward, in my opinion. Who's not going to vote on the bill? Okay, Delegate McComas.
A lot of times when you're dealing with zoning issues, they have these little tiny things that say it's going to be rezoned. And unless you're really into it and you follow the county council and you follow, or your town and what the zoning requirements are or what they're changing, you don't necessarily see them. You can't stop and read them because they're so, you know, you have to almost stop, get onto the hill to see what it says. And so I think personally, as a citizen and not wanting my town to turn into Towson, I want to be able to see those and to read them. And so the redundancy is a good thing. And so I think that the paper's a good idea because people don't see the signs.
Hold on, you guys. Let's one at a time, please. So Delegate McComas, we appreciate your comment. I think Delegate Embry is going to have a response to that.
Thank you so much, Madam Chair. Just to respond, so this is not, there's no redundancy now, and this is not changing that. So this changes nothing about how many posts there need to be. And I just want to say the benefit of online, and so the prints also have an online version. So I'm not distinguishing between online only and print and online. But the benefit of online is that people who care about these things can set up alerts, Google alerts. So it's actually much easier to be notified if there's an online option. But again, that applies to both print. I think almost all of the print versions have an online piece as well, and they typically, if they're publishing, they're doing it in both. But I just want to say, for someone like you who wants to get notified, it's easier to set up systems to notify yourself with an online option.
So I have a question. Are we losing the ability for an individual to see a notice in print? And this is for Delegate Embry or Delegate Cardin or council.
The answer is, if somebody wants to put it in print, there's nothing in this bill that stops them from doing it.
Does that help a little bit, Delegate McComas? No. Delegate Phillips?
That was my colleague over here, that liked the way you did that. The reality is that the person whose responsibility is to publish now has a choice. They may publish in print, they may publish in digital, they may publish in both. That's the reality. And so the person who is receiving the notice is going to have to, unfortunately, look at all. That's the reality. Yeah. But today, most people don't get their notice through the notice process. It is one of the reasons, if you think about when, and I'm not ready to go there, but if you weren't here, last year the Register of Wills came in and they said, let us just publish everything on our own page and we will educate people to come to our page to see anything that has to do with the Register of Wills. And the circuit courts would say, let us just publish everything on our page. And you then would be educated to come to our page. I don't think I'm ready to go there. But anyway, the looking for notices, going to the Daily Record, if you're in the Baltimore metropolitan area or just about any place else around the state, is not the thing that the average person does, but they get probably 75% of all of the legal notices. So I don't know if that helps any. So I don't know that whether we go digital or print matters.
Delegate Archon.
Okay, I still think it matters. I do hear the argument that the court will not care, but I think the issue is just we are supposed to be the people that care if people can see. You know, the court may say, yes, you've done your job, you've published it, but it's our job to say, was that publishing reasonable? Did it reasonably give access to the people we're trying to communicate to? And I think if people start switching to online only, the answer to that is no. It's just not true. People that we need to have, that we want, that we're hoping will see this stuff are not going to see it like they used to. And so I think that we will not have done our job properly.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Members, do we have any other questions, concerns, or thoughts? Delegate Stinnett.
I guess from what Delegate Phillips was saying that, and I guess my question is, I'm looking at this email that I got from somebody, and they're stating that this bill will hurt the older adults because they're the prominent readers of the print publications. Is that correct? Accurate? Oh, I shouldn't be asking, I'm sorry.
But see, I just wanted to weigh in on one thing here. Here's the second part of that sentence. It should be a comma after that, because they actually read the notices of publication. And I don't know that there has been adequate proof to show that older people actually read these legal notices that are required. I mean, did you get anything like that?
That was my second point.
Delegate Cardin?
No, I mean, I would agree with that. Not only would I agree with that comment, but if somebody is publishing something that they believe that they want people to read, and they believe that it is mostly seniors that are going to be reading it, they may just choose, and as they should, to publish it in a print medium versus a digital medium. And as the bill specifically says, regardless of whether you're print or digital, by definition, you have to gather, prepare, collect, photograph, write, edit, report, publish original, local, or state news. So regardless of whether these entities are digital or print, people can choose. If they think that this notice should go out and we want to make sure that as many people read as possible, maybe they would choose both. Maybe they would choose just the print. Maybe they would choose just the digital. But this bill doesn't really deal with that. This just says that if you want to print and digital, because look, I will tell you that I got a notice of unclaimed property. It was actually an email I got from my brother who set up an alert, and all the there was like 20 different Cardins, my nieces, my nephews, my uncles, my aunts, everybody got a notice, and it all became through a digital alert that we never would have known about if we would have had to read in the Daily Record, because none of us read those notices for unclaimed property, which comes out once a year. That huge thing comes out in the Daily Record once a year, and I wouldn't bother going through that, but I did get it digitally. Now my father would go through that, I grant you. So he gets the Daily Record and they still publish in the Daily Record, and it all worked. So I think that this is a very fair, reasonable compromise that will hopefully work for our entire constituency.
Delegate Embry, for the last word.
Okay. So I just want to stress, no one reached out, including the AARP, on this bill. On the bill that I had that was different but similar in the sense of having an online option, the AARP did support it because in their view, the cost savings to their members outweighed any concerns they might have had about notice. So I just want to put that out there. But we did not hear from anyone claiming that it would hurt their membership, AARP or any other group, on this bill. Thank you.
Okay, we have a motion on the bill. We've had plenty of discussion on the bill. Please call the roll.
House Bill 10, Delegate Foley, legal advertisement or legal notice publication in newspaper or newspaper in general circulation, digital newspapers. The Vice Chair is excused. Delegate Valentine. Delegate Valentine votes no. Delegate Embry. Delegate Embry votes aye. Delegate Cardin. Yes. Delegate Cardin votes yes. Delegate Phillips. Yes. Delegate Phillips votes yes. Delegate Congolo. Delegate Congolo votes no. Delegate Stinnett. Delegate Stinnett votes yes. Delegate Simmons. Aye. Delegate Simmons votes yes. Delegate Boucher is excused. Delegate McComas. Delegate McComas votes no. Delegate Moreno? Delegate Moreno votes yes. Delegate Archon? Delegate Archon votes no. Delegate Taylor? Delegate Taylor votes aye. Delegate Simpson? Delegate Simpson votes aye. Delegate Mangione? No. Delegate Mangione votes no. Delegate Moon? Delegate Moon votes yes. Delegate Conaway? Delegate Conaway votes yes. Delegate Woods is excused. Delegate Williams? Delegate Williams votes yes. The tally is 11-5-03. The motion carries.
Thank you very much. And that concludes our vote session. I'll see you all. I think we have subcommittee, Delegate Phillips. Did you announce subcommittee on Monday?
Subcommittee on Monday at 1 o'clock.
At 1 o'clock. Okay, thank you.